welcome to Rugged Reason video 2. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Sora, the text-to-video OpenAI just released. This video is going to mostly be for filmmakers and how I'm going to talk about how that's going to impact filmmakers, whether that's good or bad, and the dangers and what how I think it can be used. Then I'm going to go over some of my gear, which I'll have affiliate links to in the video description. Again, that's how I'm funding this channel. So if you like any of the stuff that I'm showing you, and you think you might want to use it, and you want to buy it, just please use my link. That helps me keep this channel going. Sora, I think, is pretty amazing. If you haven't seen the early AI video renders, they were pretty bad, and now Sora is just kind of blowing that all out of the water. It's really making true-to-life looking video, and I think it's going to have a big impact on filmmakers, but not the way people might be afraid that it will. I think the reality is that humans don't want to watch completely 100% AI generated content. We have these mirror neurons and this empathy function where we want to relate to the actor or the person that we're watching on a almost spiritual level, and AI is just missing the natural components of a human being that I just don't think it'll ever. I mean, maybe many iterations in the future. I think for filmmakers who might think that Sora is a threat, that they don't really understand how it's actually going to be used. I don't think that people are going to want to watch that 100% AI generated content. The way that I see Sora being utilized for filmmakers is mostly for B-roll. The shots in between footage with actors, like to show the environment or something happening that is within the context of the story, but that would be very expensive to film. Basically, like VFX stuff. I think VFX assets can be pulled from Sora, so you could get it to generate something, and then you could mask what it generated to overlay that on your footage to add a lot to your films and videos. And I think that's a net benefit for filmmakers. I think it's going to improve low-budget filmmaking in a way that is really amazing. I mean, the cost of having VFX artists produce you content to fill in that kind of footage and is just expensive. So I mean, somebody with who can just get an OpenAI subscription, being able to generate high quality video is amazing, or video assets, I should say, for B-roll. Sora's dangers, I would be concerned, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to talk about this, but the fake news or misinformation that can be generated through video like that. And then if you use AI to generate voices and you think that, you could really confuse people with content that is not real. So I think there's a danger of that being used, and I think younger people will probably be able to detect it until it becomes indistinguishable from real life, which may happen sooner rather than later. But I think it's mostly going to impact older people who don't know much about AI, or who maybe have worse vision, or just aren't able to to tell the difference between something that's AI generated and that's real. And that's going to be very confusing for the older generations, and it's going to be very dangerous because it can be used for nefarious purposes. It can be used for propaganda. That's what really worries me about it. I know when I say the words misinformation, some people might think that I'm talking about really the truth that ends up getting up out on the internet, that people with contradictory interests try to cover up. A lot of that happened during COVID. People are accused of misinformation. It wasn't misinformation, it was the truth. So anyway, that was not my point. All I'm saying is that it's going to get very confusing for certain people. I mean, children also might be very confused. They might not be able to tell the difference. And that's, that's a little scary. So, but in terms of filmmakers, I don't see Sora as a threat. Especially just thinking about it in terms of video production, I don't see it as a threat to videography. I don't see it as a threat to video production for advertising, because, you really have to show a product and you have to show actors or, people interacting with that product, or if it's like a restaurant or something at that place. And, you just can't completely use that to replace, new content for new products. I think, at some point you might be able to scan products into the system and then, create actors that are, scenes that are happening. But again, I think that's going to start to be seen as like more scam content and kind of cheap. Like if you see a completely AI generated commercial, you're going to be like, oh, they had no budget. Like this is not good. And you'll take it less seriously. So I think quality content is still gonna, need real production, real actors, directors, like people to make good quality advertising. Same thing with film. I think, directors aren't going anywhere, actors aren't going anywhere. It's really just gonna boost the independent, low budget filmmakers, and maybe some higher budget stuff might use it as well. But I think it's going to be a great tool for us. And I think it's overall good and will save a lot of time and a lot of your budget. Maybe, in the past you might have purchased B-roll clips and now you can just make them out of nowhere and, using AI. And even though it might not be real, if you're giving it the inputs are, of real places, you can generate something that's passable to an audience and at least make the impression that you want. So I think Sora is really an amazing thing. I don't think it's a threat. Sora can also really be used for storyboarding and kind of doing like like a series of storyboard shots that then you could edit together to get an idea of the look that you want and what your scene is going to be before you shoot. Rather than having to sketch that up or get, like just drawings that you've been able to do AI generated images before to kind of break up and you could show just images. But now being able to actually show the footage, in blocks, and then you could arguably even add in text to speech and use the actor voices, that you want. And then cut that together. And I think that could not only help you with your work and, help you figure out what you want and what you want to, do and how you want it to look, but also can help for pitches. If you're trying to give like a studio or investors an idea of what you want to make, if you can produce, cheap video content that shows in some form what it is you're trying to do, to give them a clearer picture, an idea of what it will be. I think that Sora is going to be great for that as well. So again, I see this as a net positive for filmmakers. So that's another thing I just wanted to mention to give you a little bit more value people might not have been thinking about. So, if you got a story, you got something, just start piecing together a little storyboard and see what it looks like. It might help you make some changes or help you in the ways that I just described. I also wanted to talk about, since this is for filmmakers and my channel is just starting here, really this is like the second video, so I just wanted to kind of show you guys and tell you about what gear that I have. And again, I'm going to have those affiliate links below the video, which if you decide you want any of this stuff, please use those links because it really helps me. Obviously, please like and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to have a lot more valuable content for filmmakers as well as my other topics, which I mentioned in my introduction video, which include off-grid homesteading, survival preparedness, financial hacks, political commentary, and these filmmaking videos, which I'll be showing gear and doing basic tutorials. So right now what I'm using is the DJI wireless system. Now I purchased the one that only has one mic and one receiver. It was the cheapest option, and until I start having interviews, I don't see the need for the other microphone. I did purchase another microphone, but I haven't utilized that yet. So if you're on a budget and you want to start producing, YouTube content or just video content for the internet as a filmmaker, to kind of, show people or who you are, or talk about whatever. I mean, if you just want to have a channel, rather than trying to set up like a GH6, which is my normal camera, which can be a complex process, and it's kind of heavy, if you're trying to lug that around to places like this. Right now I'm at South Mountain again at a different location. It just gets really cumbersome and annoying and complicated to set up, and then you got to deal with cards and all these different things. So what I decided to do was use my iPhone, which is a pretty new generation, which has 4K capability, and just get one of these DJI mics, which has a adapter through the lightning port to plug directly into the phone. I always have my phone on me anyway, so I don't need to go back to get my main equipment. I can basically carry this kit with me anywhere and produce content anywhere. So I highly recommend these microphones. Like I said, the one that I got was just the receiver and the one microphone, but they sell kits with 3 of them and a battery charging case. And then there's also a newer version that's the DJI Mic 2, which also has the charging case, 2 microphones and the receiver. If it depends on your budget, if you're just trying to get good audio, I definitely recommend the kit that I got. But and you're on a budget, that's kind of the cheapest thing you could do if you just want to produce content. If you want to do interviews or you want to use it for filmmaking, these mics are amazing for that also, although I would get the wired lavalier mic that you can get to kind of hide it. And DJI has one. I haven't tested that yet. I ordered it, but it's back ordered, so I can't do a review on that yet. What I can tell you is I have been able to successfully use my Rode lavalier mic with this microphone, and it worked great. So if you already have a lavalier mic, with a 2.5 millimeter jack, it's going to work with that. And if you don't have lavalier mics, I would definitely recommend getting either the DJI one that they sell, or the Rode is really the best. I think they're like $75, but they're worth every penny. But this seems to be fine just with the windscreen on it, connecting it to my shirt. And for this type of content, I don't care about hiding the mic. And they just work great. One thing I would mention, if you get the newer model, something that I noticed is if you tried to connect these using the Bluetooth feature, because it does have the ability to communicate to your phone directly through Bluetooth, because of the, what's that called? The bandwidth of that connection is kind of low, it's low bandwidth, so it can't communicate that much information that fast. So you end up sounding like you're on a Skype call or something, or a webcam, and the mic, potential is not utilized, and it's terrible. So please do not use Bluetooth for these. I recommend using either internal recording or the connecting it to a receiver, which is connected to your phone or whatever device you're using to record with. And you'll get much better results that way. And then the other thing that I'm using is the DJI Osmo 6 gimbal. It's the newest DJI gimbal or smartphone gimbal. It's just been amazing. It's really great and easy to use, and keeps the camera, or keeps the phone in position, so you don't get too much camera movement when you're walking. It also has an extendable feature so that you can kind of do that selfie stick look and get like a wider shot of what's around you. The battery seems to last forever. I mean, it's not forever, but I've been using it a lot, and it's still fully charged. So it's really amazing. And it all folds up into like a small little pouch, and is really portable. So again, this kit is, you can throw it in a backpack and be able to stream anywhere, just having the DJI mics and the DJI gimbal. Now, obviously right now I have the gimbal set up on a tripod rather than holding it because it's just easier for me to, focus on talking to the camera, and I wanted to have a little bit of a wider shot this time. And then for that, what I'm using is my Manfrotto video tripod, which was, it's a little bit more of an affordable video tripod. It's got the nice fluid head, but it's not the traditional locking leg Manfrotto, but it's like half the cost. So for what I've needed it for videography or this type of stuff, I mean, it has been great. I mean, the locking legs, is a great feature. But again, if you're on a budget, to me, the most important thing is really the fluid head. So I recommend the tripod as well. In terms of, gear review, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. Again, that's just my YouTube content setup, which again is extremely portable, high quality. I'm getting high quality audio, 4K video, and it's really easy and portable to bring with you and set up. And again, this gear can also be used for filmmaking. So, this microphone, like I said, if you get the nice lavalier, you can use that to produce, for films. But what I wanted to mention is it's also useful, like the DJI gimbal, for getting B-roll content, because your phone can record 4K. And again, this is I'm talking like real indie filmmaker just trying to get content. Let's say you were out somewhere that it's hard to get to and you don't happen to have your camera with you, but you see a shot that you could use, or you went somewhere, forgot your camera. You could arguably shoot on your phone in 4K, match the frame rate, all of that, and get like some basic B-roll. Now, it's not going to match your main camera footage perfectly in terms of like color profile and the lens and sensor size and all of that, which is really details that only filmmakers notice. We like to nitpick these little details and kind of give each other crap when we see a flaw, but the average viewer does not really notice these things. So I think you can get away with a lot, and these gimbals give you that ability, which I think is just another really useful aspect of owning one. The other thing I would say is it's an easy second camera. Like if you're a videographer and you do weddings, you could hire a cheap assistant or just have a friend come and use your gimbal with a phone shooting 4K, matching the frame rate with what you're shooting on your main camera. And you can stitch together some, that B-roll to kind of add a lot to your wedding videos, or whatever videography it might be. I mean, it could be a seminar or corporate stuff. But it just gives you more footage, and it doesn't require you to invest in another high-end DSLR and get it all set up with all the stuff. You can just do point and shoot. There's different microphones you can get if you need like a shotgun to attach. I might look into that, and then I'll add that to the description also. But I haven't personally used one that I can recommend. I just might make one available that I found. But yeah, you could also arguably connect a shotgun so that you can get audio with it also. But I mean, the gimbal itself is just an amazing, versatile, useful thing that I think that any independent filmmaker should own, and especially if you want to produce, video content like vlogs and this type of thing. All right, so that pretty much covers it for this video. I talked about Sora and what I think about that, the benefits and the risks, and I told you about the gear that I'm using. And as I said, this channel is not going to be entirely this type of content, but it will come and go. If you're a filmmaker, I'm going to have some very useful tips and gear that you can get and tutorials. So I definitely recommend subscribing, hanging in there, and watching for these types of videos. I'll probably be organizing just these videos in a playlist. So if you want to see just that type of content, go to my channel page and then look for the filmmaking playlist to kind of go through it there. And again, this is Rugged Reason. My name is Anthony. Stay rugged and keep your reason. affiliate links to in the video description. Again, that's how I'm funding this channel. So if you like any of the stuff that I'm showing you and you think you might want to use it and you want to buy it, just please use my link. That helps me keep this channel going.